Listen to the scroll.
Welcome to the Deerfield Scroll Podcast.
We're your hosts, Celine,
John,
and Karen, and today we're going to be talking about our experiences with time management at Deerfield Academy. So, John, do you want to share some of your extracurriculars as a senior?
Yeah, sure. Right now, I'm the editor-in-chief of the Scroll, obviously. I'm also the editor-in-chief of Unopened Doors. I lead the economics club. And yeah, those are kind of it. But they take up a lot of time for me. I think to talk about time management at Deerfield, it makes sense to go all the way back to freshman year when we kind of had a more structured routine. Everything was built in with study hall and whatnot. Kind of my adjustment to boarding school life was, I guess, pretty difficult. I didn't know what to do with myself without my parents telling me what to do, blah, 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 blah. But over time I found out, having that sort of 7:45 start studying really made it helpful for me. I still got a lot of sleep freshman year. But just having that built-in routine of knowing when to study, what to do, kind of keeping a mental checklist in my head really all helped me navigate high school so far.
How would you compare your home life with your life at boarding school?
I'd say before I came to Deerfield, I certainly did a lot less, and also everything was much more structured. From when I'd go to bed, when I'd wake up, classes that I'd have, if I'd go to math class outside of school or whatnot, everything was built in. I'd have homework time, I'd have all sorts of stuff like that. I think at Deerfield was the first time when my parents weren't with me. And it certainly made life much more, not difficult, but kind of liberating, kind of uneasy at first, confused, because I'd have all this time and I'd be I'd want to watch YouTube instead of, I don't know, study, and no one would stop me. There wasn't my parents they were behind me that I had to do work. So yeah, it was I think that transition was definitely interesting. But I think over time it really helped me develop to be much better at managing my time, much more responsible at handling my business, especially now leading 3 clubs. It wouldn't have been possible without that kind of bumpy transition from having a lot of structure to managing my own stuff. And then the better you get at managing your own stuff, I think it translates really well to managing a club or something like that, helping manage other people's schedules.
And to add on to this whole thing about growing really independent, I feel there was this really interesting dynamic for me because at home, obviously I couldn't do things all by myself because I had someone driving me and I couldn't get to school by myself. I couldn't do the things I did without having someone drive me. And I feel at Deerfield, because everything is accessible from walking, there's this new way of life you can live because you can do everything the way you want to do whenever you want to do it. And I feel that was a really big part of changing me, because now every time I go back home, I still don't have my driver's license because I'm not old enough to get it in Korea. And I feel it's kind of weird sometimes to think that I need to take a cab or I still need a driver to get to places. And it's just weird to see how my, I guess, agency in terms of scheduling my everyday life changes depending on whether I'm at school or if I'm at home.
Yeah, and as an underclassman, when I first came to Deerfield, I was a little afraid that I wouldn't spend my time wisely, and I have so much time by myself and it's unrestrained and I could do anything. But I realized that liberation and freedom I had allowed me to become more mature and actually know what to do and choose what I need to do, and made me more responsible in time management and schedule overall. And I also realized that it's not really wise to try to do everything in one time during study. It's really good to just do any subject in any time you have, for example, community time, flex time, etc., because spreading your time and doing the work you have is just really going to make you succeed. So,
but one thing that's also kind of weird to me now is how obsessed I became with making schedules, because I feel freshman year, obviously you're forced to follow this schedule that's enforced by the school because you have study hall from 7:45 to 9:45. Before that, you have co-currics, and then you have sit-down dinner in the fall and spring. And you're subject to following this schedule that everyone else does. But I feel like as you grow older, as an upperclassman, you have so much more freedom. And with more freedom, you also have more work. So I feel like a big part about me navigating that was creating a schedule for myself. And now I write a schedule on an hourly basis. Like I have from 9:45 to 10:45, I want to do that, and 10:45 to 11:45, I want to do this. And a part of this obviously is really helpful because I get to finish things the way I want to on time. And it makes me feel like I have control over like what I do. But I realized after submitting all my college apps and like now that I have a little less work, it feels weird because I don't have as much work to do, but I feel like I still have to operate at this same like busy schedule that I always did my junior year and like senior fall. So it's kind of disillusioning to think about the person I became because of how I decided to live my past few years. And it's kind of weird because I never thought about this. And like now that I don't have that much work, it's like what I try to navigate and like kind of revert back to like giving myself more relaxation and like doing more things without necessarily thinking about the time that's passing when I do something.
I have a question on like your scheduling thing, like especially by an hour basis, and this is like why I don't keep a schedule, cause like or like a rigorous schedule, cause like let's say you fall behind or whatnot, like what are some strategies you use to like get back on track, or like do you make a new schedule on the fly? Like how does that go?
I always create a schedule in the morning or like night before. It's like what time I want to wake up and do this and do that. And I never actually follow it, which is like the irony of it all. But it's just like the fact that I have a schedule and I always like fall behind, obviously, and I have things that I have to finish and I don't finish according to my schedule, and I just end up sleeping late.
Yeah,
and
I think
finishing everything. So
I think like for me, like the way I kind of do it, it's like kind of similar to you, but like just like a goals list of like I want to accomplish this much in a day, and like I don't like I guess limit myself to like doing this in this time slot, but like if I don't do it, I just can't sleep. And I think, especially in senior fall, like definitely sacrifice a lot of sleep hours for that, but also like it keeps you accountable. And I think especially like for me and Karen who are seniors right now, like when I go to college, like in the fall, like it's really only like what? It's like 6 months away, not even. We're gonna really like need something like that because like I heard from a lot of Deerfield alums who like are at college now, if like Deerfield was like 80% work, 20% clubs, college is like 40-60 work to clubs. Like clubs are a lot more of your time, kind of like the rigorous like homework and stuff takes up way less and you have a lot of free time in the day. And I think like I guess knowing how to use that will really distinguish like us in the future. Like especially coming from a boarding school experience where we know what boarding's living like. Another big advantage of like, Deerfield in preparing us for the future is also like how we manage our time effectively, how we use kind of the 1 hour, 30 minutes in between responsibilities, if we use them well or not. And I think kind of taking advantage of all those different time slots, as Celine was saying, like working during comp time or whatnot, like really will help you, I guess, get better a lot faster than other people.
I think what's really interesting is that, like, as seniors, you guys, like, have the clubs that you guys are, like, working on or you guys are, like, kind of, like, in control of. But as a sophomore, I'm in this, like, weird situation where I have to start narrowing down, but I applied to almost all the clubs I'm interested in the club fair because I don't actually know what I want to focus on or, like, narrow down. And I think that makes my life really stressful because there's so much things I have to depend on. For example, in the scroll or your tutor, Beyond the Valley, etc. And how I managed it is kind of putting effort into every single one of them, but I'm kind of scared to kind of like narrow down like what I want to pursue, especially junior, senior, when I have to really apply for like leadership positions or those stuff. So I think that was something that made my sophomore year, especially the fall, really challenging. Do you guys have any recommendations for that?
I feel like I was largely in the same position as you, as both a freshman and sophomore, because I came here obviously not with the end goal of college. Like I came here for the experience, and like I honestly wasn't even going to go to boarding school until the September of application season, and I happened to take the SSAT and I got a good grade, so I ended up applying. Deerfield was my top choice. I wasn't going to apply to Deerfield, but I ended up applying last minute, and I somehow got an interview slot, so it happened the way it did. And I feel like at Deerfield, like my first 2 years are mostly about exploring and trying new things. And I would say my recommendation right now is just continually exploring. And honestly, like even if you do apply for all the leadership positions, there's no guarantee that you're actually going to get all of them. So just like seeing where the wind takes you and trying the many things you're trying, and then seeing where you end up and then pursuing it from there on. I feel like exerting so much pressure on yourself to like narrow down right now isn't really necessary.
I disagree with that. I think like especially like Celine, you're like about to enter like sophomore spring, like you kind of like have this and then junior year to like kind of stand out in clubs and stuff, and like especially junior year, like you don't have all of junior year. It's really like the first half of junior year because like club transitions happen really fast. And I think like while like having a lot of options is a good thing, I think another I guess option you could take or like route you could go is like focus on something. I think like you're a really bright, talented kid. Like if you focus on something and put your mind to it, like I think you'll have better outcomes than overextending yourself because like no you really realistically won't be the president of like math club, a debate, screw everything. Like it's just not gonna happen. Like because kind of like all the seniors, especially like at this position now as editor in chief, like I'm talking to like other people from different clubs, and like we're one of the things we're trying to make sure is like not one person holds every single position, right?
Right.
Because like they won't be able to do that effectively. Each club just takes too much time. So I think like for me, what I did was just I committed to the school junior year, spent a lot of time in it, and then it paid off obviously. Not that EIC was my end goal, but then over time working a lot, I thought that I could be a good at EIC and something I wanted to do. So yeah, I think there's technically like I guess cutting off some stuff that you find less important, focusing on what you care most about.
Yeah, I do agree. I think striking a balance between those two things are very important. Like starting to think about what you might be more interested in, like letting go of things you obviously think you're not going to pursue. And I feel like it's, I guess, kind of important to think strategically. And this is something I personally didn't really do that much. And obviously, I have like a little bit of regret in terms of college applications because I know that a lot of people kind of narrowed down for the purposes of like creating this applicant profile. And obviously, this is what a lot of people do around the world. But I feel like for me, this kind of naivety that carried me through my Deerfield experience also had advantages because I was able to find something that I really, really found actually interesting and something I really wanted to continue pursuing even after college. And I feel like real growth really comes through time and just like letting yourself continually explore. And for me, this kind of came a little later. I would say my interest for humanities really came my junior year. And before that, I perceived myself to be a STEM kid. Both of my parents pursued STEM in college, and my mom's professor in mechanical engineering. Like I always thought STEM was my path, but really like leaning into my humanities courses my junior year and letting myself still experiment made me realize that what I wanted to pursue in college was also related to humanities. And I feel like that kind of intellectual curiosity and like keeping that alive is also really important. And that's something you can continue to do even across like clubs and alliances.
And I think like another like important thing for you to think about, especially like as you kind of transition to like upperclassmen and have more responsibilities, is like what's like the Deerfield experience like you want to have, right? And I think I think me, Karen, we were talking about this. I was talking about this with Kyle actually. Kyle is president of math club. Like to like be a leader of a club, especially like a big one on campus, whether it be the Scroll, Albany Road Debate, math club, etc. Like it's a extremely like I guess time consuming thing, and especially with keeping your grades up, every other thing, like you will miss out on a lot of experiences. Like a lot of my junior years, like I was in the Coke on Friday night doing work, or I was planning a competition, blah blah blah. And like I think especially like now, like in hindsight, I realized like would I like sacrifice like 1 percentage point on my GPA to like have more fun trying new things? Like I think like where I'm standing right now, I think I would. Because like at the end of the day, like 1% not gonna really do that much for me. And like you only get one high school like experience, you only get 1 year at junior year, 1 year at senior year, and like I think kind of like having like I guess the preparation of mind to like be like this is what I want my high school experience to look like trying these different things, like having fun. That's also like extremely important, right? Like as like I think as Karen can also like testify, like maybe like in junior year that you think like college is your end goal, but then after you get to like where me and Karen are right now, like you realize that it's not the end goal, right?
Yeah.
It's like college is just another step, like everything else, like high school was, like your job will be in the future. Like you can't even see the end goal right now. So I think a lot of things, like it's important to like enjoy your time at Deerfield. Like, and I think especially like doing stuff you want to do, not like trying to go for positions or whatnot, might be another like great thing that you can kind of really have, and something I kind of regret as well, like not really fully living up to.
I think what's really important with that is trying to really find what you like, because for me, I like enjoy what I do in the scroll, also the digital scroll, and I think that makes it good because I don't see it as some like kind of duty or some like an obligation, but it's like I come here, like today I'm here because like I wanted to be here. Like I wasn't gonna be here if I didn't like reach out to Luke and say like, hey, I want to join you guys in this session. And for me, I see the clubs that I like as not like, oh, like pressure or like stress, but it's something I want to do, so it actually motivates me. And that's why it's important to find a balance between like your social life versus like GPA and clubs, but also trying to find the clubs that you are actually interested in instead of just for colleges. Because I found out that I have so much fun, like even in the scroll and stuff, and that makes my like pressure less like stressful and everything. So
Yeah, for sure. It's like always about like finding a group of people. That really does make clubs go by a lot faster, makes the work a lot easier. And that's in everything too, right? It's not just in clubs, but in schoolwork, like working with the right people, on weekdays, or anything else will really like, I guess, help you along the way. Um, yeah, I think you want to add about that, like.
Yeah, I feel like your Deerfield life is really like based on where you decide to put yourself in, like the groups of people you decide to immerse yourself in, and like the activities you decide to do. Because obviously, like we don't have unlimited time. We have such limited time, and there's not a lot we can do all the time. And I think it's good that you like play sports, for example, because that's one decision you make, and you decide to be a part of a team and get to know a team and play I don't know if it's a new sport or a sport you've always done before, but for me, like trying a new sport here was something that's been really fun and transformative in my experience, because I got to meet a lot of people I wouldn't have met before. And like sports is a way I balance my time. Like I am the type of person that can't work for all day long, and I need this break to physically like do things and stay active, and being active and taking my mind off of work helps me lock in even better afterwards, because it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to dedicate this amount of time for work right after. And I always work, I'm a really good procrastinator, so I like work better when I have a little bit of time. So I'm like more productive then. And that's just one way I've been navigating my schedule in general. But yeah, honestly, like no matter what you do, it's about how you make the experience. And even in class, like you can dread it as much as you want to, but you can also make the classroom like as fun as you can. So I feel like it's all about your mindset and just like thinking that everything you do has meaning and reason and value.
It's actually something you just said there that I like really agree with, that I think is kind of like almost like taboo, like especially today, like talking about like procrastinating, and there's such a negative connotation with that. I think my biggest revelation in senior fall, writing college essays or whatnot, was like I really needed a time pressure. Like, because I try to start essays in June, start writing essays in July, blah, 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 blah. It never really went well. Even in like September, writing essays, like it just felt slow. It felt mundane. Like my brain wasn't really thinking clearly. But like when you kind of see the end goal in sight, whether it be November 1st or January 1st, like that's when I guess my ideas really came to life, when I really started like writing really well. And I think that's another thing like you could think of, Celine, is like kind of everyone always tells you like you don't really have this much time to start this really early, start that really early. And like a lot of times those points have merit, like never discount those, but also kind of know how you work best, you know what I'm saying? Like whether it be like the summer before your senior year, like whether it be like not writing essays or going on vacation for 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Like you might think that's a waste of time. Like I think one of the things that I've really found is like having fun and enjoying those experiences is never a waste of time. They'll always like come back like one way or another. And a lot of things that like my friends like used to say junior and senior year to like get me out of the room and stop studying or go to dinner with them or whatnot is like they'd be like, in 20 years from now when you look back at high school, will you remember doing this assignment, or will you remember like going to dinner with us? And like the answer of course is pretty obvious, like so I think that's the biggest thing, like especially as Karen was saying earlier in the conversation, like how now when she has less work, she feels like she's not doing enough. I think one of the big things about like being a senior, especially at the point we're at now, is like knowing how to relax. And I think everyone's so caught up in the heat of Deerfield, like especially all 4 years. It's a non-stop grind, especially in the summers as well for us. We're all grinding, doing this, doing that. Like kind of enjoying how to relax is also something really important. It's something I wish I could have done better, and hopefully, Celine, you do a great job at when you're like at this time.
Yeah. And in terms of what John was talking about, like procrastinating college essays, I feel like one thing that's really important is just like thinking about the topic like across realms, because I feel like keeping your mind open is the most important thing. Like a lot of the inspiration for my college essays came from my junior year declamation, and I feel like in terms of that, like I feel like the main point in writing college essays is knowing who you are and like thinking back upon the person you've become over the past years of your childhood and your high school experience. And I feel like just not always being just present in the moment and like thinking about your future and like what you have to do like right in front of you. It's important to be a reflective person in general and just think about like who you are and your values, because I feel like that's honestly the hardest part about writing college apps. It's not the writing itself, it's about the content and like what you want to write about. And I feel like knowing that took a lot of time for me, but it's not actually just time you spend in front of the laptop. It's about the time you spend walking like throughout campus. And I feel like for me, like a lot of my inspiration and like ideas came from like doing random things. Like I thought about like one of my ideas at Shriv, and I thought about one idea during sports practice. And I feel like things like that, just like continually thinking about things, that's really important. And yeah.
Oh, one trip. I've never done a trip once in my life. I do.
You should do it.
Oh my god,
I'm
yeah.
gonna do
We'll do it with you.
Can we do it in the first week of spring?
Let's do it.
Not last week, spring last week.
Bro, that one everyone goes to.
Yeah,
So it's not as
exactly.
meaningful. Are you gonna pew shitter?
I appreciated it once, but I didn't go to Sherman.
Oh, it is.
Wait, like
Yeah.
4
It
years
was
of
It was really
Visual
cold. It was really cold. Like I just felt like checking out.
Yeah, he should have.
Appreciated is really fun. I just didn't like Sherman though. It's like
Well, you never know
Also,
until you do it.
yeah, it's true. I like it.
We should do it together. All together.
Yay!
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 For listening.
All right, yeah. Thank you for listening, guys.
Tune in
Until next time.
week.